years, I've been playing a game with mortals and forces beyond mortal comprehension. But now I am a pawn in your game. I do not know your next move. I can't even imagine what plan you have in mind. So explain it to me. One step at a time. I see I was right to leave the lexicon in a place where you could find it. Yes, that is correct. We've reached the limits of our power. I did so long ago, and you've realized your full potential only recently. Mythic power cannot be made any stronger. At least, I have not been able to do so successfully. That means we are now living on borrowed time, counting down the days until we die from the wound's influence. No, I have not. I haven't had the chance. It was in Canobris that I had my first chance to test the improved version of the Midnight Bolts against the Demon Lord Discari. The crystal dagger you found in Canobris was the first Nihindrian crystal that was procured in such a fashion. I gather that you know more about them than I do. Yes, I am sure that is the case. I have evidence from my experiments. The wound affects the material plane, poisoning it with the corruption of the abyss. But it also affects the abyss, bringing in a small amount of order and harmony from the material plane. The only reason it is not as apparent in the abyss is the presence of the demon lords. They hold near infinite power over their realms, and their existence staves off the wound's influence. Yes, indeed. The Sword of Valor was Iomede's banner before she passed the test of the Starstone and ascended to heaven. I've never studied the Sword of Valor. Perhaps I should have. It is a truly fascinating artifact, and the way it interacts with you is incredible. Could it have picked up the early signs of your nascent divinity? I do not know. It's unpredictable and dangerous, but all bold plans carry risk. What you propose might work. Whoever absorbs the power of a newly killed demon lord will inherit their realm in the abyss. If we throw in a connection to the wound, we will end up with something unique. You will have the power of a demigod and an abyssal realm that changes at your whim. Yes, your plan might work. I see no reason we shouldn't at least try. But how? There are only 3 demon lords whose realms are tied to the wound: Baphomet, Discari, and Nocticula. I doubt we'd be able to carry out a cunning murder of the Lady of Cunning and Murder. As for Baphomet and Discari, after the lessons you've taught them, they will never risk another engagement. They'll engage in clever maneuvers. They'll hide, but they won't face you in battle. They are bound to appear? I didn't know that. No wonder demon lords are so careful about choosing archpriests. Correct. And the Locust Lord still hasn't deprived me of his favor. He should have done that a long, long time ago. Yes, it is true. Baphomet outsmarted himself when he granted me power and patronage behind Discari's back. And I could summon them. No, it's still too much of a risk. The world wound is more than a rift. It has a life of its own. To accomplish the plan you have conceived, we would need to channel an immense current of power through it, all the way to the realms of the demon lords. It would be 100 times more difficult than simply closing the wound. It's remarkable that the worshippers of Pelura were able to discern this. Yes, you are correct. Such days do exist, but they occur very rarely, only once or twice a century at most. I can't run the full calculations right now, but I think you're right. This is the day when the wound is most malleable. we could shape it as easily as a master potter molds soft clay. I have one final question for you. Do you have a new Nahindrian crystal in your possession? Without one, this whole plan is doomed. Unless, of course, you happen to have a midnight bolt. If so, we can procure a crystal right now. Then let us begin. I do love interesting challenges. Deskari, Lord of the Locust Host, Aurilu Vorlesh calls to you, as I once called before from within these very walls. I am the first of your servants, and I summon you. Come, Baphomet, Lord of beasts and labyrinths, heed the voice of Aurilu the Witch. You accepted me into the ranks of your servants, and I summon you now as the first among them. Come! 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 Come!
How curious. The Gnats have decided to set a trap for me. You have spun out your betrayal like an intricate web, but it will take more than that to bring down the hunger of the Abyss.
First, my daughter failed me. And now my chosen mortal favorite does the same. Aurilu, do you not see that this alliance with your mortal creation will give you nothing? You could have served the greatest of masters, yet you chose to be the puppet of your own creation.
Enough, Baphomet! You are wasting your time on words when the time for words has long passed. We shall fight those who have challenged us and obliterate them. Deskari has spoken.
You have come far, mortal, but not far enough to overpower two lords of the Abyss.
You believe yourselves to be our masters. You think you will be our doom. But you've never been anything more than a source of power. We will drain this source to the last drop. It is done. The road to greatness lies ahead. All that remains is for you to use a crystal. I can only guess. The regular crystals allowed you to impart some of your power to your followers, those whose souls were closely tied to yours. It is likely that an improved crystal would let you endow your companions with a small amount of the demigod-like power you are about to receive. The wound will eventually destroy my soul. I will never be truly healed. But I have no regrets. I achieved everything I wanted and more. Ascend together? And live without fear of gods or demons, exploring the infinite world. You truly want this. I can't believe it. But I will grant you your wish.
Time to rub them up in a tree.
And what of me, the writer of these words? The half-demon witch known as the architect of the world wound. I gained more than I could have hoped. I achieved my purpose. I vanquished death. Untold might and all eternity lie ahead. How should I spend that eternity? I have not yet decided. But I know, from experience, I know that every moment is priceless if it is spent with the one who matters most to you. I have recounted the story of my life for you, Pharasma, Lady of Graves. Not only of my life, but of the Commander's also. I believe the tale of such an illustrious figure would pique even a goddess's curiosity. I have come here to say that she and I are no longer in your power. This is the last, most significant result of my transformation experiment.
She is no longer within my power. This is true. Divinity has given her the right to decide her own fate. But you entered my boneyard to bring me these tidings. And it is within my power to unmake you, destroy you, and erase you from the cosmos. I wonder, did she anticipate such an outcome? Did she purposefully choose you to be her emissary?
Where is your vaunted equanimity now? If you take such a step, you will ignite a war that will make the cosmos quake. Are you prepared for that, Lady of Graves?
All that is no longer your concern. Your time has run out.